Merry Christmas.
I'm not about to deal with you.
What happened?
You. That's what
So,
happened.
oh my God, my audio. So, for the people out there, the inmates was supposed to be running the show tonight, and I was gonna disappear, but the rest of the inmates are not here yet.
The
Or
inmates.
yeah, by inmates, I mean you know, the rest of you, the rest of the cast members.
How
Yes,
dare
Crystal
you?
already. What y'all all saw the video that went live November 1st at 12 a.m. when the Queen of Christmas says that it's time to start celebrating Christmas. It's time to start celebrating. Not act like this is news. It ain't news.
You know what? We're not going to deal with your shenanigans today. Are you
We
telling
ain't
the
gonna
cause?
deal with your
Don't you?
old
How
lady
dare you refer to
shenanigans.
me as an inmate?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
because
I
we
got
all are
you.
inmates in this crazy, crazy thing.
Mm, mm,
And
mm.
Crystal, you saw, I sent it to everybody. I sent that video to about a lot of people.
That's a shame.
Oh my goodness. So today is election day. I don't know how much. I think polls are open for like another hour. Hopefully, you guys went out to go vote. And I'm going to say this again, like I said on TikTok earlier. For those of you who don't follow me on TikTok, make sure y'all follow me on TikTok at Martel Rolling on TikTok. Um, I forgot your TikTok name, so
I don't even remember it myself.
Crystal, you better have voted, and you, if Crystal, me and you gonna have a problem if you voted for Ron Johnson or
Uh,
Tim Michaels.
You
So,
cannot tell somebody the way they want to vote.
so for those of you who don't know, Tim Michaels is in talks of writing a bill that will eliminate gay people rights to be able to get married. Um, what's his name? Tim. No, that was Ron Johnson who wanted to be able. Ron Johnson wanted to be able to end gay marriage, and then Tim Michaels said publicly at one of his rallies or whatever you want to call it, uh, that he said that another, if when he get elected, another Republican will never lose in the state of Wisconsin. He's going to rig the elections for Republicans can win every time in Wisconsin. So why would you want a person like that to go and vote? Is what I'm saying.
I understand your stance and opinion. Listen, okay. I came
How
in hungry, hating, haters.
Crystal says she always vote blue. Now I'm gonna say my personal opinion. Honestly, the blue team doesn't necessarily always have it together. They do come up with some outrageous ideas. Both sides. There's been some moments where the party has said some stuff or want to put something in place, and I'm like, that don't sound like a good idea to me. I don't know why it sounds like a good idea to them, but yeah, I'm not totally on board 100% with the blue team, but compared to the people that's on the other side, the blue team seem to be the best way to go right now. I mean, if you could get a cast of people to come on here and do an episode, Crystal, so that we can get a break from an episode, I am totally fine. But we're gonna push off the mid-season finale until uh what's the damn next holiday coming up? Thanksgiving. Everybody keep on telling me, what about Thanksgiving? When Thanksgiving is
Yeah.
a holiday, it's not a season. Christmas is a season. Thanksgiving is a holiday. I'm just gonna put that out there. And then, how many Thanksgiving songs do y'all know besides greens, beans, tomatoes, whatever that? How many
How
y'all? What?
dare you? And my baby birthday is the day before Thanksgiving
Oh,
this year. How dare you?
it's still it's Thanksgiving. Is still a holiday, ain't a season. Ooh,
I get
that's
the
a
same amount of days off for Christmas that I do Thanksgiving.
oh. Christmas is more spectacular.
Whatever.
Oh, Crystal says she get her crews together. Yay! That means we get an episode off. Oh, but Christmas is more spectacular, is more glamour. I say glamorous. It's a vibe. Thanksgiving is just
It's a
And then
hallmark.
my whole what? How many black people have y'all seen at Thanksgiving pictures back in the original Thanksgiving? I want to answer me that question.
I can ask you the same about Christmas.
Hell, they was Hebrews. Hebrews is black. What do you mean?
But they were Hebrews before Christmas occurred, right? Because we're celebrating the birth of Christ.
Thank you, Jesus.
So what was it before then?
Uh, Jesus Christ is black. Okay, that man has wool hair. That man is black. That man that they be having sitting up there with that permed hair, that ain't Jesus.
With the slip back,
Yeah, that ain't Jesus.
with the middle part.
But Jesus, the real Jesus, looked like James Brown with wool hair.
Why James Brown?
I don't know. It's the first thing that popped in my head.
Why Jesus couldn't just be look like Jesus?
Crystal says she's all about the Christmas season. Yes, it's the Christmas season. I am so excited. People around the house is probably tired of me already when it comes to the Christmas season because all I want for Christmas is you has probably been played at least 4 times a week here. So yeah, they're about sick of Christmas when it comes to me. But back to what I was saying about voting. So if you did not go and vote, I just want you to know this right now. You don't have the right to complain about how high rent is. You don't have the right to complain about interest rates, mortgage rates. You don't have the right to complain about how much crime is going on in the city. You don't even have the right to complain about how corrupt the government is. Because if you did not go vote, you don't have a right to say anything that has to do with what's going wrong, what kind of problems this country is facing. You don't have a right to say nothing. You have the right to sit the hell down and shut the hell up. That's what you got the right to do if you didn't go take your ass out and vote. And then they'll say, "Oh, I ain't gonna get no time off from work. I had to work and down." Y'all could do early voting. Y'all could have the ballots in the mail, and then you know what? Sometimes your mailman will grab the ballot from your house and still mail it. You ain't even got to do nothing but fill out the ballot and leave it outside for your mailman to pick it up. So it was a no excuse why nobody went to go vote.
I thought your job's supposed to give you time off to go vote.
I mean that too, but people need. Well, I ain't afraid to clock out of work to go vote. I need my money and die. And then when they cut your Social Security, your food stamps, and your free health care and all the other kind of stuff that these Republicans is trying to do, then what you gonna do, huh? What you gonna do?
Complain some more.
Oh, yeah, I ain't had nothing else. I didn't. I ain't have nothing else after that. So y'all, I can't wait for it to when this show is over. I can't wait, y'all. I'm free to go to sleep. Today was so stressful. Today,
Why?
and here's something I don't understand. So the other shift at my job, they get paid quite good. So the other shift, on top of their regular pay, they get paid an extra $2.25 an hour for working a second shift, and third shift get paid $3 more an hour. And on the weekends, on top of them getting their regular pay, plus the shift differential for working a different shift, they also get another $1.25 on top of that per hour. Um, I don't know what they get paid. I'm like, it's crazy because of like the first shift team, they told them, "Oh, you guys have to work every single last holiday of the year," and we didn't have a say so in it. But second and third shift doesn't. They tell the first shift team, "You know what? You guys are going to be taking on a whole nother department's job." Other shift doesn't. So I don't understand how this other shift is getting paid all this extra money, but don't do shit.
Let's fucking boycott them.
I feel like we should boycott. We should go on strike. I'm calling a fire marshal.
I'm finna stay in my lane.
You know what? I'm effective going on strike tomorrow. Fuck it.
You know what? Fuck you, theater. I'm so tired of you talking about this damn. I'm tired. I'm come back to work next week Wednesday. I don't give a fuck when you come back to work. Don't nobody care about you going on vacation. Tina already done went on. Well, that wasn't really a vacation. We ain't gonna really say to call that a vacation. But anyway, I'm sick of y'all.
You know what? Fuck you. I'm calling my sister.
He,
We putting your ass out. We sending you back to that fucking adoption agency we got your trampy ass
I,
from.
I'm finna boycott the podcast because he called us some inmates.
Oh yeah, since Theta here, I can let the inmates run the show. So I see y'all later on in the show. All right, okay, I'm gonna see y'all. Okay, all right now. All right, I'm gonna see y'all. Okay.
Okay, fine then. Fine then. I'm a fucking inmate. Fuck him.
He called us some inmates.
That's because he a hater. He can't help it, boo.
Oh, I thought it was called a mental health crisis.
Well, he's going through psycho problems because he's doing work for change. That's what it is. He's doing work for change, actually doing something with himself, and he can't do it. He can't do it.
So he was talking about voting. Did you go vote?
Nope.
Tell us why you decided not to vote.
Fuck them.
Oh, who is them? Wait a minute.
All of them. Because it's a bunch of bullshit.
Okay, why do you feel that way?
Because no matter who you vote in, if you try to vote for somebody positive that's supposedly be for us, 9 times out of 10 they're not. They get in the office, and they can't do no more than what Congress allows them to do. I understand that to a certain extent, but why sell us a bunch of dreams?
Okay, fair enough.
You know, and I feel like this slavery is not over; it's just used a different way. But in order for them to get me back into a cotton field or totally in control or something like that, they do better off just wiping me out. All that I don't wipe out.
Why is you always talking about somebody being exterminated?
Well, I mean, that's what they slowly but surely doing to us. Think about it. They just think and doing it in a different way.
I mean, I have to agree with something that Martell said earlier. That it's really hard to vote one side when you agree with some of the stuff that one side say and some of the stuff the other side say, you know. And why is it so difficult to find somebody that has kind of like the best of both worlds? It's almost like in order for you to run as a Democrat, you have to think entirely this way, or in order for you to run as a Republican, you have to think entirely this way. You know what I'm saying? So and then you got these independent parties that never win, ever. And I feel like it's just a bunch of people who hear the election, then they get bombarded with all these videos, these text messages, these phone calls, these commercials on TV, all of the shit that was in my mailbox. And you like, vote for this person, vote for this person. Why am I voting for this person? What is on the ballot besides voting somebody into Congress or the Senate? You know, a lot of people don't understand any of that stuff. And that's kind of sad. Who told you to come back?
That fucking so damn childish.
I told you. Boy. I'm gonna send him somewhere so they can get him some good drugs.
These people just don't understand the shit that we have to dealing with his case, and it's a very special case. He stands in his problem stands all to itself. I don't even think they're ready for that one yet.
No, they're not. They not.
Hell no.
But I mean, so I don't know. You know, and I really feel like my son recently turned 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to him about, oh, this can be your first election, but he didn't want to vote. And the reason he gave me was it ain't gonna do nothing. And I'm like, why do you believe that? So I said, okay, At least educate yourself on who's running, why they running, where their stance is, what else was on the ballot other than just people running for office, because it was other things placed on the ballot as well. And then I told him he need to get himself ready for the presidential election. You know, that's so I feel like that's part of the problem. Like when if you want to see a difference, you have to have the collective majority actually buy into voting, right? That's what they did with Barack Obama.
Okay, I didn't totally agree with Barack Obama because, for one, they felt like, okay, and I don't know if this, if hopefully this won't get us banned or nothing like that or whatever. Have you get me kicked off? But I figured like this: they thought that they was doing us a favor by putting, as they say, in no other words, of putting a nigga in office. He's not black. Barack is mixed.
He is. Mhm.
So you're not doing us no favor in doing that because you turn around. If he says that he's gonna do something before he get in the office, once soon he get in the office, everything sugar turn to shit.
That wasn't his fault. When you got majority, when the majority of the Senate and Congress is
Who the
Republican,
fuck asked
he
you?
can't pass nothing without Democrats being in
I
the
know that.
Congress and
It's
Senate.
all
So
to
it was
do
the
with.
people who didn't go vote during for that next election after that. That's the reason why he couldn't get nothing passed or done that he wanted to get passed. Hallelujah.
I ain't son of a piece of shit nephew, mother, big fuck. But anyway, I was just saying about Congress. You get the people in office, they still can't do shit or whatever have you. Because they're going to go totally against them because they really want who they want in there to do more damage.
So
And
that's why this election was so important because of that there, what Martell just said. We ain't so the actual people who's gonna pass these laws is the House and Senate, right?
they're not going to let that happen.
Unless you have the majority of people that hold the same views as the president that you want in office, that's when you're gonna start to see a change.
Yeah, but that's never going to happen
And why is that?
because you don't have enough people to vote that route. Or then again, it's always going to be somebody that does throw a monkey wrench in it.
It happened during Bush presidency.
Would you just come back on and stop fucking
I mean,
popping in
you
and out?
can't say something like that and don't elaborate on what happened. So that's part of the problem. Like people are not educated on how politics work. Like you take a history course and don't nobody want to listen to that shit, right? So it's like you can't say that you didn't learn about it because you went to school. You know what I'm saying? But they don't never actually break it down to you about how this directly will affect you. People do try.
Because they don't want you to know that.
Okay.
They
Exactly.
only want you to know so much.
Exactly.
But you gotta learn how to educate yourself too. But if you notice in years past, presidents whose popularity dropped by the time they were being reelected again. So when it came to nominating the
Mm.
Congress and all that other kind of stuff, the opposite party actually got elected into Congress. So if you notice, when Barack Obama was in office, he had lost like 60 something seats in the Senate and Congress. When Trump was in office, he lost a majority of his people because of how nobody liked him. So majority of the Senate and Congress was elected Democrat. And the same happened with Bill Clinton. When his popularity had dropped, then everybody started voting in all Republican senators and congressmen and all this other kind of stuff. So anything those presidents tried to get passed or done, they couldn't do.
That's the way they're gonna keep it.
The only person who was successfully able to do that within the last 4 or 5 presidents was George W. Bush. He was the only person who had a popularity their popular thing was like above 60%. He had 63% popular thing. So when it came around to him needing to get Republican congressmen and senators in office, he got voted in because of how
Okay, I
popular
need
he
you to
was.
specify, was that daddy or son?
George W. Bush is the son, and I think George H. W. Bush is the dad, or something like that. I think George, but
For
George W.
everybody
Bush
out
is the
there
son.
that didn't know.
Oh, yeah, my bad if y'all didn't know that. My bad.
A bunch of bullshit.
So, and I mean, I feel like, I was young when Bush was in office, right? Uh, but it's like, I feel like he became more popular and likable after he was out of office.
Mm-hmm. He
Why
showed
though?
he showed how down he was with my people after he left the office, especially where how he played around with Michelle.
So, and then that makes me go back to what I said earlier. How come you don't have a person that has views of both parties? It's like if you Democrat, you have to think in all areas like this, or you have to portray yourself as believing all this way, or if you're Republican, you have to portray yourself to be all one way. It's
That's
stupid.
because they look at the Green Party who kind of see things from both sides. People look at them as hippies.
That's some bullshit. You can't be one. You can't think one way. It's impossible.
Mm-hmm. You're right. That
And
just
that's
like this, like I just like tell people during Biden's presidency, I have not agreed 100% with everything that he has done. Like I had said before, I feel like he has focused too much on lower class people. But then, like I said, now it's a few congressmen and stuff that's are being elected into office who are considered and grew up middle class and know middle class experiences who could get in the president's ear or send a letter to the president that's saying like, you know what, I think we should do something to help these group of people also because these are the people that I know or these are the people who I have spoke to personally in my state or whatever when I was going around shaking baby, kissing babies and all this other kind of stuff. And these was the issues that I heard. So a lot of people don't understand like the reason why this election is so important because these are the people who we go complain to, and then they go to Washington and fight or try to deal with the issues that we have complained to them them about. Yes, it's all about money. This is money too in it, but you got some people like that's what I said. Like I feel like the way how the boomers talk and the generation X people talk, it discouraged millennials and generation Z's to want to go into politics to want to make that change. We got to change the current mindset that we have about politics. Because if we ever expect change to happen in politics, we got to encourage it. We got to teach them like, oh, we can't teach them that all politicians are crooked cops. Like we can't teach them that because how can we expect change or want their world to be better when it comes to politics? If we're not willing to teach them better or give them the chance to make a change.
I mean, I feel like they just don't understand leadership in general.
They
Like
don't.
you got to look at how they bounce from job to job, for one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to look at how a lot of at least inner city, lower middle class, if you want to put it like that. I'm not even gonna say. I feel like all children, like they get to that point where you got to teach them, and they want to rebel, right? So now you got a bunch of grown-ups, young grown-ups, who are still in that rebellious stage because nobody explained to them why this stuff was important to have in together. So they have no interest in it. They just, so I'm saying got their social media.
I mean, I feel like I feel like in white households, it's politics are talked. It's talked about. In black households, it's not talked about. They don't teach their kids about these kind of stuff. They don't talk to their kids about this kind of stuff. When I feel like when it comes, I'm gonna say black households, just minority households in general, they don't. talk about it. Like when you grow up, when you get old enough to vote, you just hear your parents say, "Vote Democrat." Why should I vote Democrat? Like you're not really kids. Like to me, when it comes to minority kids, they don't take an interest in politics unless they just find some reason to find and get interest on their own. They discover how interesting politics is. They learn about how politics work on their own, and that comes from, like I said, like it's Warren, when I was in middle school, to be honest, not middle school, when I was going in elementary school, even though it was considered a poor city, none of the white kids I went to school with had teenage parents. Not one of them. I didn't have teenage parents. So, and then it's like when I got older and we moved to a bigger city, which is here in Milwaukee, and I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of minority kids instead of white kids. Mostly everybody parents is teenagers. And these teenagers are not going to be interested in teaching their kids politics because they too busy in the club still trying to relive their teenage years that they missed out when they first had the baby. And that's the problem. There's nothing being taught. And they wonder why the world is so jacked up.
But how can they teach them if they don't know themselves?
Exactly.
So
That's what I'm saying with them being teen. Like that says y'all need to hold off on. It ain't that serious. At least if you're gonna have sex as the teenagers, do have safe sex. Do practice safe sex, birth control, and all whatever the kind of stuff. I know still it's a good chance that whoopsies happen, but damn. I'm just saying I personally know somebody who had a baby at 15, 16, 17, 18. So when that person, once them kids got to a certain age, they can leave the kids at home, and now they can go out in the club and shake their ass and stuff. You think they gonna have time to? You think they first sit there and teach their kids about politics? Hell no, they wasn't interested in politics. They did what they had to do to put some food in them kids' mouths. And them kids became old enough to be at home by themselves, and now afraid to go out and try to relive the years that I missed. And that's the problem.
well, I mean, in all honesty, when you so busy trying to learn how to survive, you really don't have interest in too much. You
You're
can't
right.
get past the point. You can't get past the part where you gotta survive. Like
You're right.
everything else really don't matter. And then and then the stress from living day to day and really don't have a 5, 10 year plan or a retirement fund or money saved up for college education for your kid, like that shit is stressful. So then what do you do? How do you cope? You drink, you smoke, you do drugs, you have multiple sex partners. Oh wait, now you're pregnant again.
Mm-hmm. And I totally agree with that. But then it's some people who I know who were actually good teenage parents,
I know a lot of good
and
teenage parents.
and
Yeah.
they actually took an initiative, and their kids like yeah, I might not have the money to send them to the best school, whatever, but I'm gonna make damn sure that my kid is not a dummy.
Right.
And one of the things I need for parents to stop doing, I ain't got no kids. This is why I don't want no kids. But one of the things I need for parents to stop doing. Whew, so when little Ron or Brian get killed and stuff like this, y'all be all over social medias just so mad about what happened to your child or whatever. But your child was out here selling drugs, robbing, shooting, and killing, being doing a whole thug dizzle on Facebook with wires to cash and this, and that, and all this other kind of stuff. Are supporting it. But then when something happened to Lil Ron, y'all want to turn your back on the world and y'all angry at everybody. It's your fault. I know you can't control what your adult kid do, but at the same time, you shouldn't be encouraging what they doing. And then y'all have a funeral for Lil Ron and Lil Bron. And y'all got all these pictures around Lil Ron and Bron cast with these stacks and stacks and stacks of dollars, but y'all have to do a GoFundMe to put them in the ground.
I mean, I can say the same with white collar crime. So,
You can.
I mean, it
You
happens.
can, and it's crazy
It's
part.
a lot less quieter though, right?
Yeah,
It's a
and
lot less. It's a lot
I feel
quieter.
like the people in, like you said, the white collar crime. I feel like those people are what a lot of the other people call PWT,
What's that?
poor white trash.
No, I feel like when I think of white collar crime, I'm thinking of embezzlement,
Oh
millions
yeah,
of
definitely.
dollars.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking of. They probably had the best lives, probably making a ton of money. So what you embezzling $2 million for?
Avoid paying taxes.
Probably because they in debt, some kind of gambling debt or
Oh
something
well,
like
yeah,
that.
that too.
They're living above their means, just like the people that are impoverished. So now
Mm-hmm.
they're committing crimes on a different level, but then it be so hush hush because it's not a violent crime, but it's still detrimental to whatever business and whatever population of people that it directly affects, you know? So
Yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna give you an example, right? So the place where I work at, years and years and years and years and years and years and years back, right? The CEO was embezzling money. Okay.
Mm.
So now we are, and it's kind of goes both ways, right? So it's going to affect the impoverished, the less fortunate, because of the community that we serve, right?
Mm-hmm.
Potentially can be shut down because now you siphoning money away from their care,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So it directly affects them, but you didn't know nothing about that, did you?
Mm-mm.
That's what I'm saying. Quite a bit of money too. So that's what I'm saying. White collar crime, it affects them. It was kept quiet. But let it be, like you say, something that the impoverished population has to deal with. They're always in the spotlight. They're always in the spotlight. And I feel like that's not, it's easier said than done. I can say that. So I've been on both. I've been impoverished before and I've been working middle class, right? I had both of
Mm-hmm.
my parents, but I still was getting food stamps. I still was getting state insurance. I still was living in low income housing. You know what I'm saying? Like all of those things. I consider myself to be intelligent, but you have to want to do those things for yourself, and it's easier said than done a lot of times, where you have to sacrifice. Like when I was going through school, I could only work weekends. Who was going to pay my bills? When nobody else paying my bills, I had to make sure I was paying my own bills. You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot of gray area in that. Do you have people that don't want to do shit and just want to live off of welfare? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But then you got people that whose parents came into money some kind of way and they ain't doing shit either. You know what I'm saying? They not doing the damn thing. They not contributing to the population health or whatever you want to call it. They're not contributing to the community in a positive way. Hell, they probably got a drug habit that their parents are keeping on wraps, under wraps,
Mm-hmm.
more than likely. So, that's kind of where it's, when so it's like a case by case basis. I'm always going to judge somebody based off of how they conduct themselves. I don't like blanket statements only because I've lived there. I've done that. I've been on both ends of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Life happens. You're always not going to be on the top of your game, but you got to rebound. That person right there might rebound in 1 week. It might take you 5 years, but you're still working towards something positive.
Mm-hmm.
I had all of my children out of wedlock. All of my kids are out of wedlock. My oldest two are scholars. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Lived in the hood. I just moved myself out the hood. Lived in the hood my whole life. Just moved myself out the hood. Their father isn't around. They still making things happen. Oldest got a job. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's just how you set those things. And it was not easy by a long shot. I may make it look easy. You might see other people that make that look easy, but being a parent is probably one of the hardest things, if not the hardest thing ever to do as an individual. You're responsible 100% for somebody else that can choose and decide that they want to do something other than what you're telling them probably will work. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so for you to just be in control over another being, and then when they get a certain age, they don't care about what it is. They can throw that all out the window. I can give my kids the best education and the best guidance, and they can decide they want to go out here and be a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
For
Yeah,
whatever reason,
yeah. Because I always tell people, like, I grew up. At one point, I grew up. It was drugs in the house. I've seen people do crack in elementary school and all kind of stuff. I've seen quite a lot in a short period of lifetime for me. And I just look at that stuff and I just like, that is not going to be me. I am not going to become a product of what's in front of me right now.
hmm
Is and that's a big reason why I've never done a lot of things in my life. Like I keep telling people, I've never smoked marijuana. I have never I've never done any type of crack. I've never done X. I never popped any of them kind of pills. I've never done any of that stuff because I've seen the effects of what that stuff has done to family members. So I just look at that and I'm just like, no, that's not going to mean me. Like I can say like now, if I decide to quit my job right now, I can go apply for another job right now and pass the drug test. And I'm happy that I'm able to do that. And I just look at that like some people they surrender to their environment. And I feel like within the minority community that happens a lot. Not saying it doesn't happen in white communities because you can see some of these kids who come from households where the mom and dad is making six figures, but then now this kid is strung out somewhere on meth in a whole nother state somewhere. They don't even know where their kid is at.
So in my experience, upper, middle, upper class usually abuse prescription medications
Mm-hmm.
because then it's not as stigmatized as street drugs, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if I come to work under the influence of something and I'm abusing anxiety meds or pain meds or any type of psych med, um, they're gonna be like, oh well, she was taking it for this, and she's been using it X amount of years. Maybe it just wasn't work. It comes all of these different excuses in my
Mm-hmm.
head. It's excuses, but I mean, an addiction is an addiction, right?
Right.
So, but my thing is, an addiction is an addiction. Everybody should treat an addiction the same way, and it's not treated the same way. So, you know, I guess, like you said, we have been subject to seeing people using street drugs, and then when I mean, I've been on both ends of the spectrum in my lifetime. I've been with people around people that make this amount of money and people who make nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to be those prescription drugs that get abused so much, you know.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of the reason why is because the impoverished really didn't have access to health care to be abusing those drugs. Couldn't get the health somebody to prescribe them. Couldn't afford to buy them. Psych medications.
Oh, he finally woke up.
No, I
Oh wow.
wasn't sleep. I'm going to sleep. I'm listening to every word that y'all say.
Um, Psych medications. I mean, like that type of healthcare is not really available to the impoverished population. So it's just a lot of. I mean, it's a lot of different stuff, and I feel like I don't know. I feel to me that the impoverished population has been snuffed out of a lot of opportunities on purpose.
I mean, yeah, you got to have impoverished people for the rich to thrive, and
Yes, you
it's
do.
just the cycle of how things work. Sadly,
So like it's still amazing to me how many people don't know how to read.
yeah.
So
Hell, fuck, it's people who can't even write literature. It's people who it's a lot of people out here who doesn't have a basic elementary school education, to be honest.
But that don't mean that they don't. They how can I say that they're stupid or anything? They could have have strength in
Mm-mm.
other ways.
They were not taught in a way that society wanted them to learn. That's it. In my
Right.
head, because you can have skills, but don't necessarily finish school.
That's correct.
You know. So, I mean, I'm always gonna say experience is the best teacher.
Yeah,
I'm
like I said,
always
some
gonna say
people can
experience
be
is the best
it's
teacher.
like some people are street smart and they're not book smart. There are some people who are book smart and not street smart. I mean, it's fine, but at the same time, like for some of these people who for instance, they didn't graduate high school and y'all apply for these jobs saying like, oh, there ain't no paying good paying jobs out here. It ain't this, this, and that. Like there's good paying jobs out there, but how do these jobs know that you can follow basic rules if we don't know if you didn't graduate high school? How we know you can read? So how can we know we can set a piece of paper in front of you and say, read these instructions on how to work this? How are they gonna know
Man,
that?
you can have one of the highest educations that there is, man. Still in all, it's always a fluke somewhere where either you too smart for it or
That's true.
or whatever have you. So it's a gimmick to every damn thing.
I feel
And
like people that are
Okay,
incredibly
okay,
book smart
okay.
lack
Okay,
zero people skills.
so would you hire somebody to work your cash register at your establishment, but don't not account money?
yeah,
Now
because
you know that. So come
because
on
you
now.
could teach them. You could teach them. I mean, if they having problems, yeah. I mean, everybody have a weakness somewhere.
I don't know one person that can't count money besides little babies.
I literally do.
Everybody know how to
I
count
literally know
money.
an adult person who can't count money,
That's terrible because
and
I
then when
feel
they
like
do,
people know how to count money and
it,
not read.
when they do count money, they can't do large bills. Like they do everything in small bills, where it's easier for them to be able to comprehend what they're doing.
I have never met a person that didn't know how to count money
Mind you, this
besides
person
Will
is
Ferrell.
almost 50.
So that's on them, but I'm always gonna know what's in my pocket.
I agree.
So then it questions. It makes me want to ask: does that person have a learning disability that's undiagnosed because they don't have access to health care?
Good question. Which I feel like during the Obama era, a lot of people should have took advantage of that health care they was giving out, especially whatever it is they were paying $30 a month for health care. They should have took advantage of it. I don't know how much it costs now because healthcare is so damn expensive these days. And it's this guy that live across the pond, and I believe he's in England. And he's planning on coming to America and visit or whatever. And he said basically somebody sent him a bill, a hospital bill, and he just couldn't believe how much the hospital bill was. So the person was billed 207 some $1,000. It was 200 some $1,000. It might be more than 207, but it was billed 200 some $1,000. After the hospital discount, and I guess with insurance covered, that person was still on the line for $125,000 out of pocket in cost. And his mind was just blown because he couldn't believe it. Because over there, like you said, they may pay higher in health in taxes for health care, but he was like, we don't have to pay for it. I can go to the hospital and I can cut my hand and go to the hospital and not have to worry about a $10,000 hospital bill. And to be honest, I fell through a window one time, sliced my hand. Went to the hospital. All they did was took some tweezers, dug out two pieces of glass, put some saline water on there, and I got a bill in the mail for $3,000.
Yeah, it's all about money out here when it comes to shit like that. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, health insurance, I never go back, I don't think, to where it used to be. I had some of the best health insurance at one time that a person could want. But everything is about a dollar bill here. And, it's damn you damn near better off dead than alive. Because I mean, it shit. Prime example, the shit that I got now. I had to argue with a couple of people at the job. Someone said, "Damn, I had XYZ insurance before I started here. Before I left this other particular job, and I went to pay my copay or whatever. Have you? I think me and you have talked about this before. Paid our copay. We have talked about it before, and you know the people that I'm talking about. I said, I didn't get bills then. Oh, well, you got a bill whenever, any kind of insurance, just that. Man, I just had insurance where I was, prime example, Quad Graphics back many years ago. I don't know how they are now. But covered 100% because they had in-house doctors. They had their own Quad Med, and shit like that. Even when, only time that you really get a charge is when you go out the system.
Out the network and stuff, yeah.
So everything is all about money now. It's not. It is.
Me and you work for a company that provides healthcare for us, and they provide the doctors for us, and yet we still pay a ridiculous amount of money every time we go to the doctor, even though the money is going back to them.
They using a third party insurance play.
Yeah, they are. But when that insurance payout, so when we use our insurance, which is in the network for the company that we work for, that money goes back to the company. Once that insurance still got to pay out that money or whatever it is that the insurance company had to pay out for whatever it is that we went to see a healthcare provider for, that money is still going directly back to the place that employs us. So you would think that we would see either a cheaper insurance pay, cheaper co-pays, or something, but the employees don't get that discount.
That's where they got to set up where the third party makes their money, and it's the hell with the employees. It's not like I said. It's not about you being in the company, you being this, that, and whatever have you. It's all about dollar bill. You go up, you work, you get hurt. Either you pay the bill, or we wear the hell out you. And other insurance contact you, but damn, these motherfuckers here, you could blank an eye. You could be went to the doctor last week. You subject to get a phone call the following week asking where's the balance.
Yeah.
I never had that.
So we reached that point in the show, everybody. We got to do videos. Yay, videos. Yay. No yay? Okay, well, here we go.
They better not be weak.
To be honest, I didn't watch them, so I don't know. So here we go.
History of America is the history of rich white men telling not rich white people that their enemies are black and brown. It starts in the colonies of what would become the United States. Let's remember, during the colonial period, mid-1600s, there was no such thing as white people. I know some people who are now called white find that shocking, right? Because they think whiteness is real, right? But whiteness was created. Europeans didn't call themselves white. We didn't call ourselves white. We weren't all members of one big happy family. Are you kidding? Have you studied the history of Europe? The history of Europe was about killing each other. That's what we did in Europe. We just killed each other before we figured out there were other people to kill. We just killed each other, right? That was the history of Europe. The English hated the Irish, right? Northern Italians didn't even think that Southern Italians were Italians. The Germans hated everybody, and everybody hated their ass right back, right? There was no team called white, no race called white, but all of a sudden, in the middle of the 1600s, there was. Why? Why was it suddenly necessary to create this thing called the white race? Well, because rich people can count, that's why. And so rich folks looked around, the ones that owned all the land, you know, in the colonies, the colonial elite looked around and they realized something, that they were heavily outnumbered by African enslaved folks, by European indentured servants who were just one level above a slave, or other Europeans who weren't technically indentured servants, but they were still peasants, didn't have any money, didn't have any land, and they could do the math. They added it up and they were like, damn, we got to figure out a way to split these folks apart from one another or they're going to rise up and take our stuff, right? Because after a while, these black folks who were enslaved Africans and these quote unquote white folks who were poor Europeans are going to figure out they're all getting played by these rich people, right? So ultimately the rich figure out they got to come up with some way to get somebody in that group on their team. The easiest thing is to get the poor Europeans, right? Because at least they look like you. They sort of share some of the customs and the culture. So they all of a sudden create this thing called whiteness and they say, now you're part of the club. Now we're going to let you testify in court, enter into contracts, vote, at least if you're a man, own a little bit of land, at least if you're a man, right? And we're going to get rid of indentured servitude. No more of that, because you're too good for that. And we're going to take the white men, now called white men, and put them on the slave patrol to keep black people in line. Give them a horse and a gun and a badge and make them feel big and powerful, right? They're still poor. They still don't have anything. They didn't pay the slave patrol well, right? Just exploited them, used them as a buffer between the elite and the other poor folks, particularly poor folks of color. And pretty soon the rebellions that occasionally happened where black and white got together to overthrow the elite, those stopped because the divide and conquer had begun to work, right? You could turn people against each other by telling those poor white folks, they got to keep these black people in line. And so that divide and conquer gets initiated in the colonies. Rich white men telling not rich white people that their enemies are black and brown.
That was actually a good one.
I didn't actually. That's my first time. I'm mind blown.
That was
I
actually
didn't.
good.
Good. We all learned something then.
I mean, not really learned anything, but
Oh,
it was. I like
it
the
was
way
good
he
to hear
explained
a
it.
white person say it from their perspective.
I like the way he explained it. See, we need more teachers like that in school to break it down so these kids understand.
I agree.
Yeah, but that ain't gonna happen. Because
It ain't. I wonder who was he speaking to? Where was he teaching at? Was he
It
school?
looked like a church.
they feel like the one of the things that I sent you to, I might have sent you today. It tells it gets heavy into it. So I mean,
Oh yeah, it was 8 minutes. I ain't watched the whole thing yet.
that'll never happen because they know then we'll know the truth about this thing called America.
Sure.
This place called America, rather.
We got another video. I don't know what it is. If I don't like the first 15 seconds of it, I'm probably gonna cut it off. So here we go.
Oh, players. I know that our forever First Lady Michelle Obama says, when they go low, we go high. And I also know that President Obama says this.
Vote. They can't hear you boo, but they'll hear your vote.
I understand all that, Obama. I get what you saying, player. However, comma, it feels so good to boo. I'm gonna have to go low today. I'm sorry, Michelle. So today, Freddy Cruz decided to scurry his ass on out there to the Astro World Series parade. And baby, everybody was having a fucking good time, honey. They was throwing candy and they was drinking beer and just celebrating, honey. But when Freddy Cruz passed by, honey, they started booing his ass. I'm sorry, Obama. We can do both. We can boo and vote, okay? We need this. We need this. Now, as Freddy Cruz was scurrying on through, honey, one man decided to take it a little further. He didn't want to just boo. Baby, he threw a beer can at Freddy Cruz, and it made contact. Oh man. So the man threw the can at Freddie Cruz, and as you can see, the police were right there, honey. So according to the Houston PD, they arrested one man during the victory parade today. It was a male, 33 years old. He threw a beer can at Freddie Cruz as the senator was on a float at the 2400 block of Smith Street. The beer can struck the senator in the chest and neck area. The senator did not require medical attention. I mean, I didn't even see the beer can did engage, but I feel like his hand kind of, blocked it or whatever. But either way, honey, it feels good. Yeah. Baby, Texas haven't forgot about Freddie Cruz leaving them out there to freeze. Texas has not forgot about what Freddie Cruz's response was to the tragedy in Uvalde. They haven't forgot about any of that, honey. So, hey, the opportunity presented itself. At least he didn't require any medical attention. That's the only thing I can say. But Obama, we're gonna have to vote and boo on this one. Players, put your thoughts in the comments. This is Double D Mo for the Black News.
It was the booing for me.
Wait, did you see the white lady face? It was like she looked directly into the camera, pissed that people was booing. But wait, because if this happened in Texas, like she said, they ain't forget that when Texas had lost power, he took his ass down to Mexico in nice heat, warm heat and shit, and left them people to freeze for days without electricity. They let his ass feel that hate.
Oh,
And the fact that she kept calling him Freddie Cruz. Oh my God.
yes.
Oh, okay. We got two more. Here go.
Here's another question about highway construction. Who puts out the cones? Because that's the only guy getting shit done. They'll have a sign, highway work for the next 5 miles. For 10 miles, there is a perfectly straight line of cone. They are equally spaced. It's like artwork. The cones up there's 20 bulldozers over here not doing shit. But the cones are right where it teach the cone guy to run a bulldozer. Let's build some shit around here. That's all I'm saying.
You about to get on the road.
It was a guy that I was a high school where he actually started a company. He gets paid by the city to do that.
Just to set out cones.
I agree with the hell he's saying. Whenever I go to Iowa, the long list of cones once you get so far up into I want to say somewhat Madison that nothing is being done.
You just see a bunch of construction equipment, but ain't nobody working.
You don't even see that.
You don't even see that.
You just see a lane closed and a whole line of cars.
Yeah, and it slows down traffic. I travel it every other week.
Oh,
I mean, I think I told you I hit a deer that must have got popped prior when I drove my van up there. And it's like, okay, we got all these fucking cones, but nothing is being done. Came back in the daytime. Still the same fucking shit. Nobody out there working. Doing a damn thing.
It sounds like we need to get jobs as highway construction crew or something.
I know how to pour some concrete.
Oh,
I'll bullshit you not.
Because I swear, people think I be ghost. Like, how are you a construction crew on a highway repaving project and you ghost? Like, how do you hide out there? Like,
next time I
probably
go
underneath one of them damn cones.
I'm gonna do a fucking. Next time I go, I'm gonna do a fucking live, and I bet you it's every bit of probably about 25 miles of cone.
That's how it was when I went through Illinois. Illinois was It was like you would get a sign that said construction for the next 3 miles, and it would be legit 3 miles of cones, and then 1 mile with no cones. And then you get another sign, construction for the next 3 miles. I'm like, well, what the hell is they doing on the highway? There ain't even nothing wrong. Who the hell out here? Y'all just making it look like they are using this taxpayer money.
Mhm.
Illinois be like that summer, winter. They don't give a fuck. Certain parts of Illinois is such a long state to where I think they pay them people to go out there, stick the cones, then come back in for a while. Okay, that's to slow down traffic. That way you can get caught easier. I don't know.
Oh, the shit is hilarious. That's how it was. We drove down to Memphis. It was just like so many areas, and then the speed limit is slower. It was just horrible. Like, why is it so many cones? You get tired of seeing orange cones. I saw so many orange cones driving down to Memphis last time. I wanted to throw up. That's just how many orange cones it was. And at that time, I had an orange car, so it pissed me off even more seeing them orange cones. Oh Lord.
It make me feel like when I went for my motorcycle license, had so many cones in this Kenosha MATC or whatever it was college lot, to where you had to zoom in and out the cones and brake at the right time. I was tearing them motherfucking cones up.
I was tearing the cones up, Lord. Huh. We got one more video for you people before we get out of here. We already over time, so I might as well just go ahead and play it. Here we go.
Found this out this year. Dentists, man, they can tell. For anyone who didn't get that video, dentists know when you're sucking dick. Apparently, there's like bruising in the back of your throat from, and it's very noticeable to a dentist, and from examining you, they know what you've been doing. I want y'all to let that soak in real quick. Think about all of the dentists you've ever had while you were, and just think of the fact that they know that. They know. Now, I have a question for dentists. How long since I've sucked a dick does it take for you to not be able to tell? Like, how recent? That was backwards. Okay, fill in the sentence. If you were sucking dick at least blank amount of time ago, then I can tell.
And I did the research because I actually did watch that video. So apparently, they said it depends on how what's the word I'm trying to think of? Intense the session was. So if it wasn't a very intense session, it could take 2 to 3 days. If it was a very intense session, it takes about a week before they can't tell that you were like the man was doing in the video.
Lord have mercy.
I know that's gonna have a lot of people thinking like, if I was sucking dick 2 days before, 2 days ago, and I went to the dentist, like they knew. And
That's
then
the
when they
same
showed the
thing
dentist,
where if I'm doing a head to toe exam, I'm gonna be able to tell. Like,
why theater making sense like wait, because at the beginning of the video, if you guys didn't catch it, so basically the guy was a dentist and his patient was his brother. And he looked at his brother open wide and he saw his brother's throat and was like, oh, he noticed his brother was having too much fun over the weekend.
It sounded like he was having too much fun too.
so we're gonna clarify that. They just know that something has been going down your throat. Doesn't necessarily mean it was penis.
Are we sure?
I'm just gonna put that out there because people are weird.
You're right, because I have seen some people.
Okay. I'm gonna put that out there.
Some of you little nasties that be on Twitter, I've seen y'all having these big giant dildos that y'all like to stick down your throat. I've seen people stick pretending like it'll be like a traffic cone or like a cone, and they pretend like they're doing oral sex on this cone and shoving this cone down their throat. I've seen people do it with bottles. So yeah, you don't know what the hell people shoving down their throat. It could be one of those artists that swallow the swords and stuff. You never know.
Yes.
I would like to get hit by one of those people who swallow swords. Now that I
I
think,
don't know. That seems
oh
like that'd
Lord,
be a little bit
my
scary. There,
mind
you
went
gonna
somewhere else.
suck the rest of me
Let's
into
go on
your
the final.
mouth? I no. I feel like I'm gonna. It's gonna be one of what? It's gonna be like a snake. You're gonna eat the rest of my body. I'm straight.
You
It's
know
gonna
what, Tina?
regurgitate. It's gonna. It's just gonna. And you
What?
just gonna keep eating and eating and bottomless pit. No, I'm straight.
Oh
I'm
Lord.
good.
Let-
I'm good.
Let's go into final thoughts, everybody. What we got for final thoughts this week? If you didn't vote, go choke on a dick.
Fuck you.
Because
I
we
ain't
need
choking on shit.
because we need marijuana
Choke
to be
those.
legal, and you ain't gonna vote for marijuana to be legal in the state of Wisconsin. So go choke on a dick because
I
I do.
vote for
Even though I
marijuana.
don't smoke marijuana, I do enjoy doing the edibles. So yeah, go suck a dick. Choke on a dick.
Fuck you.
Let's educate ourselves on politics. Let's do that, people. Let's educate ourselves on politics. Don't be scared to learn about history. So it's this channel called It's History, where I've learned a lot of stuff about historical stuff, facts, where he does actually get his material from credible sources, I should say. So
Penis.
don't be afraid to go in there. Sometimes he might not even talk about something. It might have to do something with like a building or a tunnel being built in New York Underground Tunnel, like the first underground tunnel in New York for cars and stuff like that. He teach about different stuff about history. It's not just U.S. history; it's world history stuff that different places in the world that he teaches you about. So don't be afraid to educate yourselves outside of school or even as like we can't be afraid to educate ourselves. Like, for instance, I've gone into writing a book, and I'm gonna let y'all know now. I knows nothing about writing a book, but from listening to audiobooks and taking what I've heard in audiobooks and noticing the changes that I need to make in mine when it comes to dialogue and how certain stuff should go or sound or phrases to use. I took an initiative to find out that stuff, and it actually has made my book turn out a lot better. Be scared to educate yourselves.
A Playboy magazine is easy to write.
Oh, good God.
All you
Tina,
gotta
please tell
do
me
is
you got something for the people because this man needs to go take his medication.
You need to say something too.
Huh? Me?
Yeah. Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
No.
you need a shitload of it.
Yeah, you know what? Fine. I'm afraid to go to sleep.
I can drop you off some.
I'm tired of y'all. I'm so tired. I'm tired of
No,
y'all.
you
I
ain't not
really am.
tired of us. Final thoughts. I agree with Martell. Education is the key. They try to excuse my baby. They try to control people by limiting education,
He
right?
bad as hell, y'all.
What?
He's curious. He's not bad.
How dare you?
I
I'm
just
gonna have so Martell and I are gonna have some words at the show. Anywho, educate yourselves. Absolutely. It's so many different mediums out here now to educate yourselves. Like he said, he took it upon himself and learned how to pen a book by listening to a book, right? So it gave him the power and the autonomy to create a product and not be snuffed out by not having the education. That's all I got. Hold on, somebody playing with my buttons.
Torian.
you live
Old man
and you
theater.
learn. You live and you learn. I don't know. This just been a fucked up conversation for me. I don't agree with a lot of things. I don't disagree with a lot of things. It is what it is. Get what you can get out of life and fuck it.
And with that being said, we hope y'all started your holiday shopping. We hope y'all have a magical Christmas. And don't forget, head over to March, habits365.com. Use code Anthony for to receive 20% off your purchase. And also head over to repsports.com. Use code Martin1 to receive 5% off your purchase. And don't forget to head over to TikTok and follow us on TikTok and Instagram at STDD Podcast on TikTok and Instagram. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Same Cast Different Day Podcast on Facebook. And make sure y'all subscribe to us on YouTube because we need more YouTube subscribers. So make sure y'all follow us on and subscribe on what I was talking about, YouTube. Same Cast Different Day Podcast on YouTube. Yes, I do need to create our YouTube handle. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but make sure y'all subscribe to us on YouTube. We need some YouTube views because we trying to be able to make money. So if we can get enough YouTube subscribers, y'all, we can start getting chart. Well, people who don't watch the lives, they have to watch a commercial to watch us, which means every time a commercial plays, we get paid for it. So make sure y'all hit that subscribe button for us and help us out so we can make some money.
And we're also looking for people to come aboard and want to be on the podcast.
Word. So with that being said, thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of Same Cast Different Day Podcast. Y'all got an extra 12 minutes on this episode. So yay, y'all got extra 12 minutes of us. And we'll see y'all on Thursday. Old Man Theater probably won't be on the episode on Thursday because he'll be somewhere taking his old man meds, rocking in a rocket chair on his porch and listen to what they call them things. What the hell with them guitars they be playing on the porches down south? A banjo. You'll be down there playing banjo in the rocket chair down the south. So he won't be here Thursday.
I plan on trying to be on. Period. I might be in my hotel room. I might not stay out in the woods.
But thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all on the next one. All right, I'm gonna kill y'all. Okay, all right now. I'm gonna see y'all. All right, okay, go see y'all. Okay, all right now. All right, okay.